Hey guys, Mike T here with another movie review for you. Today I will be reviewing the newest X-Men movie, which came out this past weekend, X-Men Days of Future Past. Saw this movie on the midnight release because I was that excited for it. It didn't have as much marketing as Amazing Spider-Man 2, which, I mean, what movie can? Because that had so many trailers going on. This movie was so amazing. Right now I'm going to tell you what I gave it. I gave it like a 9.5, pretty much a 9.8, let's say. It's pretty much a 10, but, you know, I don't really like to give 10s. I want to see, this is one of those movies I want to see again. And I've only seen, I believe, 2 or 3 movies twice or multiple times in theaters. One of them being The Avengers, and the other one being The Dark Knight, and the third being Captain America 2, Winter Soldier. X-Men Days of Future Past, it starts off in the future in New York, and the Sentinels have pretty much killed everyone. Now, the reason the Sentinels are such a problem is because the original program was they were designed to kill mutants, but then they adapted, and they started to kill and hunt down the people that had the possibility of becoming a mutant, and then they started to hunt down the people that had the possibility to pass down that gene. So it wasn't even just mutants at this time. It was mutants, people that had the possibility of becoming a mutant, and the people that had the possibility of being a parent to a mutant, a person to pass down the mutant gene. So they pretty much evolved to kill anyone that could potentially be a mutant or pass down the mutant gene. So basically they started killing everybody. Obviously that's a problem. And the first sequence is Bishop, Colossus, Blink, crap, what's that other guy's name? War something. Oh, whatever. And they all get attacked by the Sentinels. But Kitty and Bishop get away, and Kitty sends his consciousness back in time a day or so to warn them, and then they leave. So they leave the base, and the Sentinels come. They don't find them, and then they contact Professor X and all of them. Professor X and them come back to a base in China. It's Storm, Magneto, Professor X, Wolverine, all come out of the X-Jet. And they come up with a plan to send... They originally wanted to send Charles back in time, so that way he can convince and stop Mystique from killing Trask. But his mind wouldn't be able to do it, because it would probably tear apart and wouldn't be able to handle going back in time that far, because Kitty's only at most sent someone back a month, and this is in modern day, so maybe even farther in modern day. So maybe say 2025, hypothetically, because this isn't all. They never really gave a year. They're going back to the 1970s, so that's 50, 60 years. And sorry about that. And they're going back. So they figured Wolverine could be able to go back in time because he can regenerate. So if something does happen to his mind and it snaps like they say, it could just snap back, and he'd be the only one that'd be able to survive it. But the thing is, since they're going to be sending him so far back in time, this is their last chance. If he doesn't succeed, they're all going to die. So he goes back and he finds Professor X. Professor X is walking, like many of you saw in the trailer, because of a serum that Hank made up to... I don't remember how they described it, but it gives him the ability to walk, but it takes away his powers. So he's basically trading looking normal and acting normal from being able to read people's minds. And so Wolverine has to convince Professor X to come help him rescue Magneto, who is under arrest and located so far underground underneath the Pentagon because he was involved in the Kennedy assassination. And he was a main suspect, and he was prosecuted for the murder. That's when they get Quicksilver in this movie. I know a lot of you said that he looked so stupid, and I agree. He did look stupid. But that was out of context. He stole the movie in the scenes that he was in. He stole those scenes. I love Quicksilver. It was one of those rare instances when you get to see someone that's actually super fast, but you get to see it from their kind of point of view, instead of everyone else, and you just see the person really fast going. You get to see it from his point of view, where he's kind of going his version of normal speed, and he's just walking around. And he sees everything go in slow motion. He just deflects all the bullets, and he messes with people, puts someone's fist in their face, and where they hit themselves and they get knocked out. It was hilarious. So they get Magneto out of jail, and without giving any spoilers, stuff was revealed between two characters that we pretty much all expected. We were expecting, or we were hoping, not necessarily expecting because of the time period. So that was done. Magneto and Xavier have a heated exchange, because this is a point in time when their ideology is so far apart, where Magneto is literally ready to wage war against the entire human race so that mutants can survive and live. When Xavier is at the lowest, he wants to be human, basically. He was basically choosing to be human rather than live with himself being crippled. And so they agree that they have to stop Mystique from killing Trask because of what's going to happen in the future. And they do stop her from killing Trask because they find out that Mystique's genes and DNA were taken and applied to the Sentinels, and that's why in the movie you see the Sentinels adapting to everyone's powers. Like Iceman's fighting one, and I don't know if that's Pyro or just some other fire guys fighting them, but Iceman's Sentinel basically gets covered in flames, and Pyro's Sentinel covers himself in ice, so they have each other's powers, and they're adapting their bodies to it. So that comes from Mystique. So then they go on, they stop Mystique from killing Trask initially, but Magneto tries to kill Mystique, and they end up getting the DNA anyway. Or not the DNA, but a blood sample. So they know that they can adapt it, but they don't have enough. So then the movie goes on, and Trask convinces the President Nixon, to give him an introduction, or not an introduction, a press conference where he introduces the Sentinels to the world, so that they could protect them from the mutants, because it was all in the news that the mutants were in France and in Paris, and how everyone's freaked out. But Magneto implanted them with these metal rods, the train rails. He split the train rails apart and put them into the Sentinels, so that way he can control them, which he does. And the scene that you see him lifting the baseball stadium, he takes it and he just places it around the White House. As the president is in his secret bunker, Magneto gets all the Sentinels and lines them around the top of the baseball stadium, and they start targeting the humans. Magneto rips the president's bunker right out of the White House. And Mystique is in there too, so Wolverine, Hank, and Xavier, who at this point has stopped using those drugs, so he can do all of his powers again, but he cannot walk. So he's gone back to being normal Xavier. Wolverine, who still has, at this point, has his bone claws, because this takes place before the Weapons X project. They all try to stop Magneto. Magneto stops Wolverine. He takes part of the stadium and basically embeds all the metal into Wolverine, so that way he can lift him up, and he just chucks him across, and Wolverine actually sinks into the bottom of the river and starts drowning. Mystique ends up shooting Magneto to cause him to freak out, and knocks the helmet off so Charles can stop Magneto. But Mystique has the gun pointed at Trask and is conflicted with herself because she wants to kill Trask, but Charles convinces her not to, so she stops and leaves Magneto to Charles, which changes the future, because since Trask never died, the Sentinels were never commissioned by the United States government, and so it changed everything. And without giving any spoilers, I'm not going to reveal what changed and who was there and who wasn't, but a changed. I highly recommend this movie. This is as perfect of a movie as you can get for me. 9.5 to 9.8. I'd say. Fuck it. It's a 10. It's a 10. I'd give it a 10. This movie was just so awesome. I want to see it again. I want to see it again tomorrow. It's very rare for me to like a movie that much. And at the very end, you get to see a familiar face. Fuck it, I'll just reveal who it is. You get to see Kelsey Grammer as Beast. Kelsey Grammer, as you guys know, played Beast in X-Men 3: The Last Stand. I freaked out. I don't normally like Kelsey Grammer, but Kelsey Grammer as Beast was awesome. Me and my friends even have an inside joke related to his portrayal of Beast. So when I saw him on screen, I just went, yes! Hank fucking McCoy! Kelsey fucking Grammer! I started freaking out and giving high fives all around. It was awesome. So like I said, guys, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend this. I'm seeing it a second time sometime this week. Maybe even tomorrow. Alright, I will see you guys in the next video, which it will probably be my comic book review. Alright, have a great Memorial Day. Hope you guys had a great Memorial Day. Peace out.